Blessings in disguise. Okay, so sometimes we have these experiences in life where we actually judge pretty harshly as bad or wrong or negative or just absolutely terrible. And it can take some time to step out of those judgments and just find a little neutrality so that you can have a little more clarity or new insight or new awareness on that particular experience and just kind of see it for what it really was without all those judgments. And actually stepping out of all those judgments is going to help you come right into present time, which is always nice. And when things are not going that well or not that great or potentially falling apart, sometimes just keeping in mind of, oh, well, if this is falling apart, if there's something is coming to an end, there's going to be a new beginning, right? And this is going to be really tough when you're younger. I remember when I was younger, when you have something come to an end, like a relationship or something, it seems like it's the end of the world and oh my God, this is a massive deal. And, as you move through life, you have more experiences and you start to realize, okay, yeah, this job or this thing or relationship, it comes to an end, but you'll be okay. There's going to be a new beginning. And, I'm 40 now and I've been meditating, doing energy work since 2007. And so with practicing meditation, you get really comfortable and familiar with letting things go. So always keeping in mind, okay, if something's falling apart, then what's potentially going to be the new beginning? Sometimes you need that old thing to collapse and come undone, even though it seems terrible and oh my God, this is not great. Sometimes that's a blessing in disguise. You got to check in with your own self and see if this is really a blessing in disguise for you and just go, okay, this is collapsing. Doesn't feel great right now, but what's the next thing? If this collapses, and then what can come in now? And that's typically how it works. Sometimes you need to create room. You need to let go of something that might be limiting, that you may have been living in a certain way that it's not working anymore. And you let that go, and then, okay, now I can kind of operate on a different frequency or energy or whatever it is, right? And I can give you an example. My late 20s, I was living in Chicago and I was going to the psychic school where I learned all this energy work. And I knew it was about time for me to leave and kind of move on as a teacher, just to teach for myself and on my own and just do psychic work for myself. I was only working part-time, just doing psychic readings. I had a relationship fall apart. I knew I was kind of outgrowing or not, just kind of ready to move on from Chicago. And I was staying with a friend and I use this website called coolworks.com. So if you're this is not a sponsor, by the way, but if you are an adventurous spirit, you love travel and meeting new people, seeing new places, and you want to do seasonal work where you're not really looking for these permanent positions, although I think there are permanent positions on this site. It's mainly seasonal jobs, odd jobs that are within the United States, but some also abroad. So check that out if you're interested, coolworks.com. So I'm exploring this website and I probably applied to a couple jobs, and one of them was this job in Colorado in the mountains. It's a housekeeping job. It's not glamorous or prestigious, doesn't make a lot of money. But I needed a change. I knew I needed to move. And so I applied to it, didn't think anything would happen. They did get back to me. And I decided to take the leap of faith. I decided to take the job and go. And I kind of knew, just because I've been doing this type of energy work, that I probably was going to meet someone, a significant other, basically. I had a sense of that. But that's really about it. And when I ended up going there, I took the leap of faith, and the mountains are beautiful. And the sense of community that I experienced there was, I've only experienced that type of sense of community when I was going to the psychic school in Chicago. And so I was surprised and excited that I could kind of also have a community elsewhere. So it was a unique space where people from all around the world came here to work for, 4 to 6 months. And we lived together, worked together, would eat together, we do everything together, go out together. So you meet people from all different walks of life and you get to hang out for a few months. So it's pretty cool. So I had a great sense of community, but then I also met my wife, Heather. So it was pretty amazing. And it's when you look back at those type of situations in your own life, or maybe you've heard friends talk about this or whatever it is, that if you let the fear hold you back, you might not be able to have that next step, that next adventure, that next level for yourself. And it's okay to experience the fear. It's just a matter of tapping kind of into your inner courage. We all have courage. It's not something that only a few people have. It's kind of within your heart. It's an energy. And just tapping in with that inner courage, so you can take your next step, so you can take that leap of faith, because you might be surprised what's on the other side. And it might not be until you get to the other side where you get to have even more gratitude or appreciation or even new perspective on what was happening before, when things were falling apart and, oh my God, this is terrible. You get even a newer perspective on that, and you have a sense of gratitude and go, wow, okay, like that was rough. I didn't quite fully understand at the time, but when you're in this kind of new state, then you can have that appreciation for it. So always encourage people to take leaps of faith when their intuition is telling them to.